Welcome back to our Good Morning North Coast show. With me is my favorite, Tony Subramony, this morning. Tony, good morning.
Good morning, Jared.
How are you this morning?
I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
Good. That's in Chile, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just want to find out who's stolen the sunshine from Durban. We haven't had sunshine for many days. Yeah,
No,
please
totally.
return
We need
it.
to get our tan
Yeah.
on.
Well,
Look a bit
I'm
white.
okay with the tan.
Tony, what is our daily inspiration this morning?
I'm shifting things a little bit, just from a personal point of view. I want to talk about addiction and recovery. The point I want to make today is celebrating recovery. The viewers may be aware or may not be aware that I'm in recovery for the past 32 years from addiction.
Amazing.
And it's a gift that's been shared with me many years ago, and I continue to embrace this gift on a daily basis. And my mission is to share this with others. So this morning I want to reach out to those who are in this very dark corner, who are leading this life of loneliness and sadness and realizing that maybe there's no hope for them.
Yeah.
And thinking that, you know what, I don't know what to do about it. Very often the difficulty of embracing recovery, Taryn, is not knowing what is after addiction.
Yes, of
You know,
course.
what kind of life do you live after
Yeah.
addiction? Can you cope with life in recovery in the way you did in addiction, or is it going to be better or worse?
Yeah.
You know, when I gave up smoking as well, one of the things that worried me is that how do I cope with, the stressful situations without a cigarette? And then I realized that so many people manage that without smoking. And the same principle I've used when it came to my own addiction as well. And I realized that that's what I wanted. I wanted to live a life free of any mood-altering chemicals.
Of course.
So there is definitely life after addiction, and that life is absolutely joyful and bliss. The quality of life in recovery is one of the main things that we focus on in the work that I do with people.
So what, for an individual, for the viewers, what are the initial steps that they should take when wanting to recover? Because, I mean, it is probably the most intimidating thing is to go into your recovery, and will you relapse? Will you go back into drug or alcohol abuse and like smoking?
Yeah.
How do we as viewers then?
It's a good question, Taryn. One of the things we have to understand is that when you get to that stage, you realize that whatever you have tried has not worked. So the important thing is to now reach out. All right, reach out with the understanding that you got to be willing to follow what the person is offering you. There's a program that you can follow through, and the reality about it is that you make a committed decision to change your lifestyle. The addiction is merely a symptom of deeper issues, deep-seated issues. Now, when we're going through the program of recovery, we actually don't know what really prompted us to take to addiction. And, no one just gets up in the morning and says, well, I want to get sloshed today and, just embrace the addiction.
There's a trigger.
But in that process, you will continue to discover who you are. So the journey that we talk about is an inward journey, not an outward journey. Because what's happened with addiction is that we've moved away and away and away from who we are. Recovery is about getting back to who we should be and who we are authentically. So that's the important thing, is to discover who we are. And that I found was such a wonderful way of describing what recovery is, that at last, after all these years of active addiction, I'm starting to find out who I really am, without having to depend on any mood-altering chemical. So that's what I want to really impress upon the viewers, that that's what this is all about. I always say that recovery is an inside job. It's within you, and that journey that you embark upon is guided by someone who will take you through that journey of finding out who we really are. In these past years, I've been amazed at who I am, what I can offer, and what my potential is, and what is out there for me to really embrace in life. And that's what it is all about.
That's amazing, Tony. You really are such an inspiration. There's so many people that can relate to you, and some that don't know how to get out of that situation. And for them to hear after 32 years, now you've just embraced yourself and gotten to know yourself and fixed the inner in order to fix the outer. I mean, you really are such an inspiration, Tony.
And initially it's quite a daunting task to think that I'm going to change from deep-seated addiction to a one of recovery, and you're kind of grappling with many questions. Many of these questions we've tried to answer on our own, and we've never found the real answers. The idea is to be open-minded about what you're going to expect from the therapist. Be willing to change.
Well, that's it. You're going to have to want to self-do it. You can't just go there thinking...
And there's a number of family members that may be listening in, and are thinking that they've got a family member who is actually grappling with this issue but is not ready to take the decision to stop. You know,
Yes.
and that also is something that we can help out with, where we have a family session and we have an intervention session. So it's so important to understand that there is so much hope, there's so much joy, there's so much of bliss after addiction. And that's what I want to encourage the viewers to actually embrace that. The next time I'm going to be on a Friday morning, I want to talk about something that's so common, but it's so acceptable in society, and that is addiction to over-the-counter drugs.
Oh, that's a very good topic.
Okay, that deserves another whole slot.
Oh, most definitely.
When we're going to sit down and talk about how that is impacting on the community around, and what can we do in order to ensure that we're going to get out of it.
And how easily accessible it is too, the
Yes.
frightening bit of it, isn't it?
Yes. And then also with teenagers, we're going to be talking about how they can actually, start to look at life differently. And there's so much that, it's not only addiction to drugs and alcohol, it's addiction to your cell phone, it's addiction to social media, it's all of that kind of stuff that we need to talk about as well.
Oh, Tony, I can't wait for your message on Friday morning. Your message this morning has been such an inspiration, and I'm sure those viewers out there are so grateful that you shared your personal story with them. He's a life coach. Contact Tony. He's been through it all. Guys, don't be scared, really.
Sure.
Tony, thank you so much for all you do for everyone in the community as well, and for sharing your story with us this morning.
Thoroughly appreciate it.
Have a super week, Tony.
You too, you too.
We're going to go into an ad break, and after the ad break, we've got Victor Snyder's CEO of Skin Renewal. Stay tuned.